Devin is joined by his father and trainer Bill Haney, joining us on stage at the press conference this morning. George, if I could start with you as the challenger at the press conference to announce this rematch back in August here in this precinct. You said that if you don't win back all the belts on Sunday, it could be the last fight of your career. Are you still standing by that very large statement?
Well, I'm physically and mentally focused on this moment right now, so nothing else matters. Whatever was said, whatever was done, I'm zoned in on this moment. So nothing will break my focus, nothing will break that tunnel vision I have. So I'm not interested about any of that now. I'm interested on Sunday, what I do then.
Your team has been based in an undisclosed location here in Melbourne for the lead up to this fight. You have a much smaller crew around you, a change in management, change in training. Also, it feels like a covert military operation. Is that how it is inside the camp?
Yeah, pretty much. We're just a small team, small operation, but fully zoned in, fully embedded on victory. So that's all that's mattered. We've been left alone in this camp. We've been no distractions, just focused on one thing. And that's the way I've always done in my career, except for the last fight. So I'm looking forward to doing all my talking on Sunday. A great fight, and we're going to bring it for the fans and especially for myself.
You've made sacrifices in the lead up to this fight, including time away from your family. Are you quietly confident that the sacrifices are worth it at this point in time?
Yeah, look, boxing is all about sacrifices, and you need to make them extra sacrifices. It gives me that edge. I don't even have my kids here this whole fight week, and for the fight they will be at home. I sent them away to Portugal. They had a great time, but I continued putting in my work. And when they did get back, I was in my gym living there. So, the sacrifices, the dedication, the discipline, it's all about, what gives them that mental edge to continue, getting back on top.
Lou, in the lead up to this fight, said you are in tremendous physical condition. I guess that guarantees there's a drama-free weighing right here tomorrow, as opposed to what happened last time.
Yeah, I'm on weight right now, no problems. I'm very hydrated, eating very well, and I really cut not one corner. And they'll see tomorrow when I weigh in how well, conditioned, physically I am, and most importantly mentally as well. No distractions, just ready for a great fight and a great victory. Back to the old ferocious Kambosos.
It certainly has been a different lead-up. I'd like to ask you, Jim, and your perspective on the build-up to this fight. Big changes from what we saw last time around. Bill Haney, the other day, we had a little face-off across the way here at Rod Laver Arena, said your camp was quiet as church mice. Are you happy to be quiet as church mice?
Yeah, we're happy to be quiet as church mice. And look, the Haneys can sit there and call it the way they want to call it. The simple thing is, we've got a rematch opportunity, and we're serious about how we're going to execute on Sunday and how we're going to have the victory. And then once we've got victory, let's see who's going to be the quiet church mice after that. We've made changes, we learnt lessons, we got caught up in the hype and the bright lights of the first fight. So, the changes have been made, and come Sunday, let's see who church mice and who they are.
Some of those changes, the way you approach the fight, because there was critique in the early rounds when George was getting behind and losing some of those rounds. You were hoping to bank early his way, that there wasn't enough urgency in your corner. Will there be a different situation if things don't go to plan early in the first few rounds on Sunday? You'll be more vocal, the camp will be more vocal in the corner?
Definitely. That's one of the changes. You can have urgency in the corner. The trainer didn't execute the right instructions to George. We're not going to fully blame the trainer, but that was part of the adjustments we made. This time round, we've got an all-Australian team. We've hooked up with our old trainer that George was 14-0 in Australia. And the thing is, George has got that fire back in the belly, old school methods, and come Sunday, it's going to be a totally different corner with a lot more urgency and a totally different George Kambosos.
It has been fascinating to see the build-up as it has been for your side of the equation. Good luck on Sunday. We'll talk more, of course, with George in a moment. We open the floor to questions from the assembled media here this morning. But I'd like to turn our attention to the current title holder, Devin. Welcome back to Melbourne. You've You've been here for almost 3 weeks now. How's the camp gone?
First off, I want to thank Allah for allowing me and my team to be here. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy to be here, and it's great to be back here in Melbourne. I made history here, and it won't be no different on the 16th.
We were so impressed by your defence, of course, first time around, and what you did, shutting down George over those 12 rounds at Marvel Stadium. And no matter the sport, we often focus, quite obviously in the media and as fans, on offence. But are you potentially the best defensive boxer in the world at the moment?
I mean, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit, and I'm a student of the game, so that's what I follow. So yeah, I might be one of the best defensive fighters in boxing, but on the 16th I look to show more offense.
Do you think that the fact that ESPN hasn't rated you in the top 10 of their pound-for-pound listings, they've overlooked just how good you are defensively? Because it's quite the omission to have the undisputed lightweight champion of the world not in that top 10 of their pound-for-pound rankings.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opinionated list at the end of the day. I'm a solid all-around fighter, the youngest undisputed in boxing, so I should definitely be on the list. But it is what it is. My main focus right now is facing George Kambosos, and after that, we can talk about the pound-for-pound list.
This is a very different build-up to what we had first time around. We spoke about that a couple of days also. They have been quiet, there's no doubt about that, the Kambosos camp. Are you concerned?
I mean, they've been quiet, but every time they open their mouth, it's a different excuse. So, they talk this quiet stuff, but they keep making up excuses. Now it's the coach, then it was the referee that I was holding. Every excuse in the book, but why did you fire your whole team if that was the case? If truly you feel like I was holding too much, why would you fire your whole team?
Over the course of 2 fights now, you've had quite a few face-offs with George Kambosos Jr. What will you be whispering to him today when we face it off at the end of this press conference?
I mean, ain't nothing to be whispering. All my words is loud. I speak it, for the world to hear. So ain't nothing to whisper. At the end of the day, we'll see on the 16th who's a better fighter, and I will show once again that I am.
Can't wait to see how it turns out, of course, on Sunday. Bill, if I could ask you, we saw a vision, of course, during the fight in the first encounter, in the corner when Devin came back. A couple of times there, you were imploring him to make sure he kept boxing and don't fight and don't throw anything too heavy. Is there a fear that you get caught up in a situation the same way Teofimo Lopez did against George Kambosos?
Thank you for the question. First off, I want to give praise to Allah for giving us the strength to make it happen. Going into it, we knew that George possessed things that are on an elite level. I don't take anything away from George and Jim for what they've done. Our preparation was to outbox him, and we wanted to do that, and we wanted to do it convincingly based on, the unknown. We didn't know what we were going to get in Australia. To our surprise, we've met some wonderful people. The Australian government has been totally supportive. For all intent purposes, we figured that this is a second home of ours. Unlike the Kambososes over there who make excuses after excuses, and we all are tired of hearing them, right? We're all tired of hearing them. That is not the Australian way, that's not the US way. We came here to be hosted by them to put on an event. They continue to quote different, Dev gave me one job today, right? We're on way, he told me to go out and get this for George. It's the art of war. So if you can hand it to him over there.
Sure.
Because we want him to be well prepared and not misinformed. That's fine, right? But what excuse is he going to have on the 16th?
Well, we will find out, of course. This has been a long time in the making. What we see, the belts on the table here, through homeschooling for Devin, there was a focus through his teenage years on his potential career down the track. to see these belts on the table now, it must be especially gratifying for you, the approach that you took with your son.
Absolutely, and not just to be a champion, but to be a world champion. These belts represent the world, and boxing brings us all together. This is a sport that I encourage Devin to do because it's an individual sport, but it also would bring us culturally together and as a world. And being a world champion is the way that you conduct yourself. The stuff that they're doing over there, my son is going to whip his ass.
I've got to get a response from George, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I think you quoted The Art of War last time around. Any thoughts on what we've just heard from Bill?
What did you say? I didn't hear.
Okay. Earmuffs on, and the covert military operation continues on here today. I want to open the floor now to questions from the media who have joined us here, and Peter Bedell from the Courier Mail is with us in the News Corp publications. Peter, great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Hi, George. Peter Bedell from the Courier Mail. We've obviously spoken a few times. I know your mentality going into this fight, but can you just give me a response to what they've said? I mean, they think you're full of excuses, that you're making cheap excuses for your loss in the first fight. What do you say to that?
Well, look, there's no excuses. You know, whatever they're saying, that's no problem. Whatever they've done in their preparation, whatever they, is on their mind. That's okay. We're zoned in on one thing, like I said. Everything is perfect on our side, and I'm looking forward to a great fight. That's all I'm focused on. I'm not focused on anything else. If they want to talk, they want to say things, beautiful. They want to try to give me a present there, thank you, but I don't need that. I've got my own.
What mistakes did you make specifically in the first fight, and how do you rectify those for this fight to get those belts back?
Well, look, the changes have been made. You know, you learn from your losses, come back a better fighter. So I've made my changes. You know, I've looked at certain things, and I've gone back to my roots as well. So, we're just focused. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm just zoned in. And Sundays, well, do my talking. Let's see who laughs last. That's what I'm to say.
Hi George, Darren Morton, AFP. Mate, there's no secret that Devin's left jab caused trouble last time. What have you got in store to combat that this time?
Yeah, he's got a fantastic jab, but we have put in fantastic work to evade not only his jab, but whatever he tries to bring. It doesn't matter. Did I let him jab too much? He's got a great jab, but that's why boxing is the sweet science. And it's the unknown as well. That's why we love this sport so much. So they don't know what I'm about to bring, and again, I don't know what he's about to bring. He might bring this Toro Gatti kind of style. Supposedly, he talks about the pound for pound list. He wants to get in, and they're going to throw a lot of offense. Might have a Toro Gatti right there. Rest in peace to him. So we'll see.
Bob Aaron was encouraging you to turn into a brawl. Can we expect something like that?
Bob Aaron's just going to have to just watch. He's doubted me. I love Bob, but he's doubted me many times. Actually, it was a great quote before I fought Teofimo Lopez. He said he had a better chance of knocking out Tyson Fury than what I did in beating Lopez. So I'm waiting to see that, Bob. But I hope you're doing well, mate. And be careful. I will shock the world again.
It's just not shocking the world. The last corresponding press conference 4 months ago was a bit of a circus. You could barely get in there. There's less people around. Does that sort of, you don't need any added motivation, but does that sort of make you want to prove a point as well and show the people you're not yesterday's hero?
Yeah, it's nice and relaxed. Look how my camp has been, how this whole week has been. Nice and relaxed, and I've got to obviously, appreciate the way Lou and the Bella Entertainment and Top Rank and Juco and TNG, Ferocious Promotions, Devin Haney Promotions. This is a beautiful run, promotion. Everything has been, fantastic, and that's what boxing is about. Giving, the world a great show, and I'll do my talking, like I said, on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Melissa Woods from Australian Associated Press. Devin, there was some, I suppose, criticism of the fight last time that it was boring. As being the world champion, do you feel any kind of duty, I guess, to bring more to the fight, or for you is it just about the victory?
Did you enjoy the fight?
Did
you enjoy the fight?
A bit one-sided, I suppose.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, but I'm gonna be mad that it was a one-sided fight. That's what I'm supposed to go in there and do my job. And it's one-sided, and it may be boring to you, and that's okay. But that means that I executed the game plan correctly, and I won the fight. So it is what it is.
So we talked about, obviously I think it's like 15 knockouts and that, but for you it's just about getting the win. You don't need to sort of put on a show, I suppose.
I always want to put a show on.
And George, you've reunited with your former trainer, Chris Backus. Can you just talk us through what changes I guess he's made? And you talked about going back to old school, old times or whatever. Yeah, what's sort of different about your preparation and plans?
Well, look, I've gone back to my roots. Me and Chris, started many years ago. So we've taken it old school, but we have brought in a lot of new school methods as well. So we feel very comfortable in our preparation, in the dark, in the trenches we put in the work. So, there is just one focus for not only me and Chris, but the whole team. One focus.
I've got a question for George. Why did you fire Coach Javier?
That's none of your damn business.
What about Peter Kahn?
Once again, none of your damn business.
Yeah, good morning guys, it's Joel, mate, Big J, Jason Fletcher from FightHype 360. First of all guys, congratulations on the big fight. Great to see the Haney team back in Australia again. Hope you're having a great time. George, for you, and actually all of you, if you get up and you guys got to go to a trilogy?
Yeah, I believe so. This fight is it'll be 1-1 after Sunday, and we'll sit down and see what he wants to do. He probably want to move up to 140 by then. Probably this time at 135 will be done. But we'll see. My mind focused on one thing, like I said, is Sunday. Mentally and physically zoned in on this moment only. No moment, no other moment, no third fight, none of that. No other fighters. I'm zoning on this for him. There's a lot of guys hunting him now. A lot of people calling him out. You've got the Javante Davises, you've got the Ryan Garcia, you've got the Lomachenko's, who's an unbelievable champion, an orthodox brother. So they all want his head on, just lay him back.
Just for you, Devin, if you get up on the weekend and successful, what's your next step?
There's a lot of big fights out there to be made, obviously. I've been calling up for, Loma for a while now, but my main focus is, getting past George Kambosos, and then we can talk about what's next.
Good luck with Burgers on Sunday, though.
Thank you.
Thank you to the media for joining us here this morning. Of course, the beauty of sport is when you think you know what's going to happen. The particular event, the script gets flipped, and you never know what you're going to see here at Rod Laver Arena on Sunday. We'd like to thank the Victorian Government, Top Rank, the Bell Entertainment, TEG Sport, Duco Events, TAB, Foxtel, of course, and Main Event, where you can still book your viewing pleasure on Sunday here at Rod Laver Arena via Main Event in Australia, ESPN, and also TVNZ. Many ways you can watch the fight around the world. We might face off both fighters right now. One more time. Devin the Dream Haney goes to the main. We'll be bound to let
What you gonna do, George? You gonna keep waiting? Are you gonna wait again? Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna wait? You gonna have him wait? Are you gonna have him come or you gonna have him wait? The people want to know. Are you gonna make the fight? The people want to know. Is he gonna make the fight? Is he gonna wait? Are you gonna wait or you gonna come fight? Are you gonna counter punch or are you coming to fight? The people want to know. Are you gonna fight? You come to fight, he's gonna get his ass whipped. Guaranteed. Yeah. Guaranteed. What's the excuse next, Jim? You didn't pay nobody. What's the excuse, Jim? What's the excuse? Huh? When he win on Sunday, is it gonna be fair? Huh? You want 7? Are you going 7? That's right, Jim. It's good. League champion. You got it.